Talk Entertainment.
All the way from Trinidad and Tobago, Osei is right here to Talk Entertainment. Hello.
Hey Becky, how you doing?
Should we do the shaking thing
or
just?
We can do anything you want to do. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So Osei Alleyne, did I get the name right?
You got the name right. My name is Osei, as in the Akan or the Ashanti Osei. My last name is Alleyne. And I'm here to do some research work, very specifically on the dancehall scene in Ghana.
Tell me about it. You just came in. You're doing your research.
Yes.
On what have you seen so far? I know. Okay, let me just leave you so you talk about the people in the dancehall. I know Osei Alleyne.
Right.
I'm sure you've heard about
Well,
him.
very interested in Osei Alleyne in particular and in Stone Boy. My project is tentatively titled Dancehall King in the whole Ghana. Jamaican rude boy posture in Ghanaian hip life. The first 2 summers that I came, Zonto was huge, hip life was huge, but I found that bubbling under that was this very energetic scene, this dancehall scene, or Afro dancehall scene happening here. And being my own roots being in the Caribbean, in spite of the fact that I live in the US right now, I said to myself, wow, I can completely relate to dancehall. And then I found it as I was taking the trotros and moving through the streets of Accra. Everywhere I was seeing Jamaican flags. I was hearing people talking about Usain Bolt. And then when I was meeting people in the streets, they were saying, "What's up, big man? Respect." And I was hearing a lot of Rasta speak.
Yeah.
And so I felt very, very, very much at home. And I said to myself, hip life is extremely interesting, but this particular scene that's happening inside of hip life, dancehall, is especially interesting to me. I also thought to myself that when we think about Black history and we think about the connections between the West and the mother continent, we often think about the US African American culture and Ghanaian kind of culture or West African culture. But what about thinking about the relationship between the Caribbean, right? Places like Jamaica and Trinidad, especially because so much of that culture is so popular here right now. So I'm here to ask you all and to ask myself, what is it about Jamaica in particular, about dancehall in general, that's so interesting to Ghana right now that it's taking it up in such a very vigorous and energetic way?
Wow, that's so interesting. I have never asked myself that question before, and it's very elating. Apart from Stone Boy, have you listened to Samini?
I've heard some of Samini stuff, yes.
So what kind of music do you think Samini does? Is it dancehall mixed with...
I know there's a lot of debate about who is doing what right now, and I don't really want to wade into that as much as I want to say that I think each artist, some of your top artists, are offering some very interesting perspectives on what it means to be making any type of music, whether you want to call it dancehall, you want to call it hip life, you want to call it hardcore dancehall, you want to call it roots reggae. One of the things I'm interested in doing here, first of all, is an oral history of reggae music in general, the broad umbrella of reggae. So who are some of the people who were even interested in reggae from its very onset here in Ghana? And then how has that changed over time? Who started doing what we call dancehall today and why? Okay, so a lot of your debate now is about whether one can speak authentic patois or not. What does that mean? What is an authentic language in the first place? Folks here in Ghana speak Twi, they speak Ga, they speak Ewe, they speak Pidgin. And so patois is just another one of so many different kinds of languages that you use here in Ghana. Who's to say what is authentic and what isn't authentic?
Yo. You don't know. Boy speaking, you don't know. Let's talk, do more. Me I roll up the thing in a me corner long time. Right now, me say go higher. Them they susu on me, yeah. Them go susu on you too. Hey, them they talk about me, yeah. My brother, maybe your body they want to chew. I go to pray, make up.
So there's a lot of ways to think about this. So I'm not as interested in who's doing what better, but who is drawing on what and why, and how does that resonate with their audiences here, and how does that make the whole conversation very interesting?
That's interesting.
You don't know Stone Boy representing. You're watching Let's Talk Entertainment. Boy.